Morning, guys. My name is Yogesh Lulla. I'm the Vice President of ConsoleConnect for Mobility, IoT, and Voice. I come all the way from Dubai, and I must say it's a pleasure to be here talking to you face to face after all the long conference calls and even longer video calls. You know, in telecommunication, are you used to staying at home? We're not. We were traveling across our life, and for the last 2 years, we were asked to be stuck at home with a family. I'm not sure about you. I had a lovely time with my wife, surprisingly. You know, my wife knows that whatever I do it with perfection and dedication, which is why she assigned me the most important job at home. Every morning, I was supposed to mop the floor, collect the garbage, and trash them outside. And I did that for 2 full years. Last week, when my wife got to know that I'm traveling to Hawaii for PTC, I swear to God, guys, in my entire traveling career, for the first time she came to me and said, "I'm going to miss you." So I'm here to present on blockchain and IoT. I think we in ConsoleConnect truly believe that blockchain and IoT can facilitate a change in the definition of humanity. In other words, data would be the key going forward. So this data collected by the IoT devices, managed by distributed ledger, compiled, governed by a smart contract, and cleared and settled by crypto assets would hold a pivotal role going forward. I do appreciate that this journey has its own challenges. And I'm going to talk about a few of them during the course of my presentation. Before I deep dive, I think the last 2 years, the pandemics have caused vulnerability across the world. No country has been immune. And the developing countries have been suffering a bit more because of lack of infrastructure and resources. I come from 2 heavily populated developing countries in the world. My mom is Indonesian, and my dad is from India. Studies have shown that 7% of Indians live outside the country. And in the past 2 years, all the 7%, on an average, would have wanted to contribute $10 a month to facilitate the better lifestyle in the country and help the citizens. Now, even though there was complete willingness, most of them did not contribute. The simple answer is trust. They could not trust that the money they spend would be going for the right cause. They could not trust that they would be given full traceability of all the transactions. Blockchain infuses trust in any transaction. We know that blockchain makes all the transactions immutable, and the ledgers are distributed. So not one person is responsible for all the transactions. Thereby, it facilitates confidence. You know, with IoT, the transactions are going to be innumerable, but small in nature. When I say small, the IoT transactions are small in value, but multiple. We need a system that can verify these transactions and settle them. Now, what do economists want? An economist would want a marketplace with maximum profitability and minimum friction. With IoT and the multiple transactions, we have to understand that a human mind is achieving a plateau, and we need a system to verify these humongous amount of transactions. IoT can do that, AI can do that, and blockchain as well. Now, imagine a world where data is passing through a network, and this network is self-verifying and settling transactions in real time. That's the magic of blockchain. So blockchain enables efficient verification of digital assets. IoT's nature is to digitize real-world attributes. Let's take real-world example, guys. In a pharmaceutical industry, the pacemaker can now talk to the doctor in real time and explain the condition of the heart. An IV machine, with the help of sensors, can determine the amount of pain the patient is in and thereby guide the doctor to either increase or reduce the dosage. The airline industry, which you're all well aware of, we don't need a black box anymore when we can communicate with the aircraft in real time. I think IoT adds value to blockchain and vice versa. What does it mean? We know that IoT consists of millions, and if I may say billions of transactions going forward. We need a system which can self-verify these transactions. We know that a human intervention would cause errors, and we can't live with that. So blockchain assists IoT to crunch the data and analyze it further. Blockchain and IoT basically are two sides of a coin. They're interdependable. In the logistic industry, again, let me give you a real-world example. In ConsoleConnect, we were approached by a customer in East Africa who was the biggest exporter of avocado around the world. This customer was facing huge losses because his avocados were rejected when they were transferred to other country because they were not edible. Now, he did not know whom to hold accountable. Any logistic industry consists of a few elements. It's warehousing, it's shipping, it's freight forwarders, the last mile trucking. Whom does he hold accountable for the avocados not being ripe? So when he came to us, we gave him a solution of connectivity. We provided him connectivity for all his containers, and now he could be monitoring his containers, track them in real time. For avocados to be exported, we realized that it has to be in a certain temperature at all times. With the IoT devices, he could now monitor the temperature of avocado 24/7. Thereby, we reduce his losses by making sure there's accountability. Blockchain enables trust in IoT by validating the data lifecycle. And as the business cases get more complex, the value of IoT increases further. Take an example of 5G. The pharmaceutical industry, the logistic industry, telecommunication, I mean, talk about it and everything would be connected. Survey has showed that in the next 5 years, 20 to 30 billion devices would be connected. That's almost 3 times the human population. When these 20 billion devices are connected, you will need an efficient system to transact and clear these transactions. Again, blockchain value increases. And as I said, it's not an easy journey. The ecosystem complexity. Now, to understand blockchain, blockchain is basically codes to be written, and these codes are immutable. Nobody can change the codes once written. Who decides that what codes have to be written? That's a complexity. The governance. Historically, we had organizations like government or banks who would validate the transaction and provide you with a proof. Blockchain does not believe in having a central authority to make decisions on behalf of all of us. As per the blockchain policy, this power has to be distributed. The third one, technology scalability, which I think is the easiest. With time passing, we do understand that technology advancement is bound to happen. So scalability would not be an issue. Human flexibility. With the current political and geopolitical scenario, we do understand that it's not easy for humans to work with each other. And this would be a challenge going forward. Economically, the survey showed that there's supposed to be about $40 billion of investment in blockchain in the next 5 years. So it's economically not very viable for smaller companies to move to blockchain, and that may remain a challenge. Accurate decisions made by AI. To simplify the analogy of AI, let me explain to you how AI works. AI is basically thinking about a child learning to walk. Have you thought about a child when he learns to walk, he does not need to know physics for him to be able to stand on his feet. This child is viewing his parents, his siblings, his neighbors, his family. He is grasping information until the time he stands and tries to walk. He might fall. He falls down. He takes more information and tries again until the time this child runs faster than you and me. That's exactly how AI works. The funny thing is, we as parents spend the first 4 to 5 years in teaching a child how to talk. The same parents would spend the rest of their life in asking the child to shut up. And unfortunately, we won't be able to shut AI down. That sounds a bit scary, but that's the world we are entering. Now, understand that in logistics, pharmaceutical, and all these industries where AI, blockchain, and IoT would be utilized, this data would be traveling globally. These SIM cards or these connectivity devices would be traveling globally. When we talk about organizations in one country and banks in one country, they are susceptible to security risks. Now imagine this data traveling globally. Again, whom do you hold accountable? So we in ConsoleConnect have developed an ecosystem which facilitates network-to-network and cloud-to-cloud integration in real time. It's a software-defined network which basically gives you connectivity on demand at a click of a button. In terms of IP infrastructure, internationally, we ranked in the top 10. So we are one-of-a-kind companies who are providing you with connectivity solutions to any cloud around the world, to more than 600 data centers around the world, connected to more than 1,000 MNOs and MVNOs around the world, at a click of a button in a very secured manner. All the data we carry travels through our own infrastructure. It does not touch the public internet. That's exactly what we're trying to create. And thereby, we make sure that we abide by the security standards. In IoT, now, we have made the world of automation a bit more easier. If you log on to ConsoleConnect.com, by the click of a button, you can actually buy connectivity through SIM cards, through eSIMs. One SIM could be used throughout the world in one of the most cost-efficient manner. And we make sure that you have full connectivity at all times. To add the cherry on the cake, we don't just sell you connectivity. We provide you with a free platform whereby the SaaS, the CPaaS, the integrators can now find out where exactly the IoT devices are at any point of time. They can track these SIM cards. They can block or unblock these SIM cards. So we in ConsoleConnect are giving you an ability to become a virtual operator and manage your own connectivity at a click of a button again. Now, in the whole ConsoleConnect platform, we are adding a layer of blockchain, whereby going forward, in real time, all the transactions would be settled. The most important factor for any organization is to manage disputes. Eventually, when we talk about millions and billions of transactions, can you imagine how resource intensive it's going to be if disputes come up? And any dispute can stop the connectivity, which is why we in ConsoleConnect are adding a layer of blockchain to further create ease for our partners. This is who we are. This is our ecosystem. This is the community we are creating. And this community grows as we speak. So I would actually encourage and urge each one of you to please log on to ConsoleConnect.com. Registration is free. You get one of the most user-friendly platforms to order for any connectivity needs or any IoT needs going forward in your life. The Google CEO has said that the research on AI is more profound than electricity and fire. We know that the world is moving towards digitization, and we in ConsoleConnect are extremely excited that in our own small way, we're trying to contribute towards the digitization of our global economy. Thank you very much.